Alright guys, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things I really like about Dumaguete and some of the things that I really don't like. And I'm going to be brutally honest in this video, a little more honest than I usually am in some of my videos as far as telling the good and the bad for different cities, so stick around. Alright guys, so I am on the new portion of the boulevard here in Dumaguete, and stick around to the end of the video because I will talk about the bad things that I don't really like about Dumaguete, and I'll also kind of do one little walk through the new portion of the boulevard that they've constructed. It's actually very, very nice. There's a lot of activity out here now, much more than there was before. Really nicely done. It's kind of changed my impression of the boardwalk, or the boulevard as they call it here. So, but let's go over now. I did actually write a blog on this a little bit more in detail, so if you want to check out geointhephilippines.com, you can actually get a written version of this video, probably in a bit more detail as well. So number one, the first thing that I really like about Dumaguete is location. And what I mean by that is Dumaguete, and I'll flash it up on the map here, is really centrally located. So it kind of sits in an area where you've got all these cool destinations really nearby by ferry. You can hop on a ferry, and boom, you're in Bohol, which is a big tourist destination. Boom, you're in Siquijor, Apple Island. So there's just a lot going on. You got Cebu, which is really nearby. And then you also have Dipolog, which you can take a ferry across to Mindanao and check that out as well. So really central location. Not only that, you have kind of a way of getting different climates and different weather here. You can go just next to Dumaguete, you can go up into Valencia, which has the cooler weather and more greenery, and you know, a lot of people don't even run their aircon at night. They just turn it off and open windows. That's how cool it gets. And then if you want something more of like a beach, you could head down to nearby Dawan, Bacong, Zamboanguita. All these areas have resorts on them and a lot of places for rent, apartments and little houses and things like that. So you can really go from the beach life up into the mountains with cooler weather, all within really a nearby location here. So that makes it another really good point of living here. It does have an airport here, and the buses and the ferries, so it's very central and very easy to get around that way. Now the other thing, this is a popular tourist destination. Filipinos and fellow foreigners like to come out here and as well, and it was rated high in I think Travelers Magazine or Condé Nast as far as one of the top retirement destinations. I don't really, to be honest, I'm not sure why. I guess you'd have to read the article to find out. But I will say, with that comes a lot more accommodations. You have a really large variety of places that you can rent out here. You can go from an inexpensive apartment to a beautiful beach home or a nice house overlooking the mountain area in Valencia. I mean, you just have a wide range of, you know, very simple at a very low end cost all the way up to a high end cost. So you can go budget or you can go high up in your expenses. It just depends on what you want. And also with that, you get a lot of businesses that pop up that cater to Westerners. So you can get a lot of different types of Western food here, different restaurants. So some of my favorites are Sans Reval, Adamo, also, and you can catch these names on my blog. The other thing is, let me see, Sans Reval, Chico's, which is in front of the Why Not Lounge, and Adamo's. Those are some of my favorites. There's a lot of other ones too. And then you have places like Belchris and places where they have imported deli meats and cheeses and steak and wines and all kinds of things. So it's kind of nice if you do miss a lot of things from home. You can find a lot of things here because it is a large attraction for foreigners to come out here and live. What else is good? Now it is kind of protected. I know we did have a typhoon come through recently, but for the most part, this is really a pretty safe destination as far as typhoons and earthquakes. This area really doesn't get hit too often with that stuff. And again, the typhoon that rolled through here recently, Typhoon Odette, I think it was December 16th. It's kind of a rare thing. It was kind of rare when it hit Cebu as well. So I said I would be brutally honest. I'm going to be a little brutally honest, a little bit more so than I have in other videos. And so I'm sure I'll get a few hate comments for saying this about their beloved city, but I'm going to say it. It's not directed to anybody in particular. The first one's pretty mild. So the first one would be brownouts, blackouts, or power outages, whatever you want to call them. They seem to be very frequent here in Dumaguete, and that means all these surrounding cities as well, Chaton and Zamboanguita and Valencia and all these places. They do tend to get a lot of brownouts, and they can be sometimes scheduled. Sometimes they'll schedule them for all day. Sometimes they won't even schedule them, and you'll just be out without power, and you don't even know what's going on. So it happens much more than any city I've ever lived in. Going on 6 years in the Philippines, and no city has come to even close to as many brownouts as this. So this can be really problematic if you're working online or something along those lines. Now, are there ways to fix it? Sure, yeah. You can plan out an event. You can go out, hang out at a resort all day. You can go to the coffee shop and typically work, but usually even the coffee shop's got the brownouts. But usually they have generators, but you can purchase a generator. You can buy those battery backups where your router and your laptop plug into. So, you can kind of protect yourself a bit, in case you're working and power goes out. Ring lights that work off of, plugging into a USB type thing. So there's ways around that. The other thing I don't like, so being a popular tourist destination, the streets get very crowded here. It gets very crowded during tourist times. Right now, because the whole pandemic thing is still kind of happening, even though things are really relaxed. You can see I'm sitting out here with no mask on talking. The majority of people walking by on the boulevard here don't have masks on, and it just has seemed to have relaxed quite a bit. But anyway, with that, the streets here in Dumaguete and in some of the surrounding cities like Bacong and Cebulan, the streets tend to be narrow. People are pulling over on the sides, making it even worse. You got all these tricycles, motorbikes, buses, and because the streets are so narrow and people are pulling over on the sides, it's very hard to get through. Traffic gets bottlenecked very easily in these three areas. And the streets, it's just, there's ways around it. You can learn to, okay, I don't travel at 9 a.m. I don't travel at 5 p.m. I got to travel at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. And but the more time that goes by, the worse it actually gets. It seems like no matter what hour I go out, it seems to be crowded. So, so anyway, that's the problem. And I don't know what's with the roads here, but every time I go out, I seem like I need to take a shower because all the dirt and dust that's kicked up from the trucks and on the roads here, it just it seems to be pretty bad. The other thing I want to talk about is the overabundance of foreigners. Now, do I have anything against foreigners? No, not really. I've met most of my friends I've met through watching my channel and stuff, so no, I don't have nothing against foreigners. I'm a foreigner, so I don't know why I'd have something against somebody else from my own country unless there was a reason. But what happens, in my opinion, is you kind of get lumped into some, into a category of, let's say there's a big group. There's a lot of expats that hang out and get drunk in front of at the bars or at the lounges or whatever, and the waitresses, they talk about it, how rude and obnoxious these guys are, and what have you. And unfortunately, we all kind of get lumped into that category, and whether it's fair or not, it just kind of happens. It's life. I rather have a real kind of Filipino experience. You don't seem to get that here because there's just so overrun with foreigners being here now. So I prefer smaller cities, and you can have that here. You just have to kind of be outside of Dumaguete a bit to get that. With that, I would also say that if you want more of a real Filipino experience, Philippines experience, you could get out to cities like in Bayawan or Mabinay, you know, which are about 2 hours from here, you know, outside. So there's certainly areas you can go and meet nice province girls and stuff. Now, this last piece is going to be a bit brutal here, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. But dating in Dumaguete is probably some of the worst dating in the Philippines. And the reason is it's a small city with a high concentration of foreigners. Therefore, again, a lot of Filipinos just don't want anything to do with us because we're kind of lumped into that category of being bad foreigners or whatever. And then you also have the ones that, there's a saying in Dumaguete, there's a saying in general, you don't look for a girl, you wait for your turn. In other words, they have dated, they just kind of are going in rotation dating different foreigners. Now, is it their fault? I'm not blaming them completely. It's a lot of the foreigners, you know, they're not serious or what have you, or I don't know what the reasons are. But there is that saying, they say you don't look for a girl in Dumaguete, you wait for your turn. And I suppose the same could be, you know, said about foreigners. I'm sure there's some kind of saying about foreigners here in Dumaguete about them not being serious or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, with that being said, Dumaguete still overall, for a lot of people, is a really great destination for people to live, you know. Live outside of the city, get a generator, find a girl maybe outside of the city, not within Dumaguete, you know, and things really aren't so bad here, and it actually can be a great destination. So anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video. I think everybody should form their own opinion on this, so, you know, don't just go off of what I say. Come to Dumaguete and see if you like it, you know. It's not up to me to make the decision for you. I just can kind of give you a little bit of insight on it, and then you really are the one who's got to come out here and check things out, you know, see whether you like it or not. So it's the end of the video, so I'm going to go ahead and take a quick walk around through the new portion of the boulevard here and just show you what's going on over here and all the activity. And this is just a Monday night. On Sunday nights they have behind me there's a stage, and they have live music and a band, and I was listening to them actually last night on Easter Sunday, and it was really cool just to chill. It's just a free concert, you know. Grabbed a coffee from Starbucks, walked over here, sat down and watched it. It was very cool, and I really like this new portion of the boulevard. So let's go take a look. All right, so here we go. So this is the new portion of the boulevard. It's really big and really spread out, and I'm gonna take a walk around the whole thing here. So let's go ahead and take a walk. So over here in the center, you can see they're all playing volleyball. They play frisbee. Yeah, you got frisbee over here. Got volleyball going on. Lots of benches. And it's good to see they have a lot of trash receptacles out here now too. Now over here you can see they're doing karate. They do this every day. So very cool that you see these little karate students out here. And all the parents and family members are watching. So cool. There's another karate class over here. And of course you got people dancing, as always in the Philippines. But here you got, they're doing kata. And this is an area that's not built up yet, but it's going to be built up later. And over here you got massage going on. And in the center part here, they have a little basketball court they put up, so people can actually play basketball now. And again, massage is going on out here. Basketball, and then they do Zumba out here as well. Frisbee. Now this next part here, they've really, you can see all the lights they've done, which is really nice, really nicely lit up. People hang out here all night long now. And you have a lot more vendors than you used to have. So you got people selling ice cream and all the Filipino treats. And again, this is just a Monday night. This is just a Monday night. This is not even a weekend. If it was a weekend, it'd be packed. And I will do a weekend video one of these days here. So okay. I mean, it's like a carnival out here. You got people selling joggers, and take a look. You'll see that a lot of people aren't wearing masks, which is, in my opinion, good. I think we've had enough of this mask wearing. Selling ice cream and balut and all the tempura and all this local Filipino street foods. A lot of action out here. A lot of people. And of course you do have the bajau, which ask for money. All right, so let's take a walk through the center part and then the last part at the end here. So this is the center part. It's actually not lit up yet. And normally this part, the middle part, is all lit up as well. And out in the courtyard, it's all lit up. But it's not lit up yet. But yeah, this part right here, usually all lit up. And we're coming up on the stage where they do a lot of activity. The concerts and stuff, which I saw last night, which was really cool. And it's just cool that there's no charge for it. You know, you just grab a coffee across the street or grab a bottle of water or some snacks, and they had chairs all set up here, and you just sit down and chill and listen to live music, which I'm a huge fan of anyway. So yeah. Hello. So here's the ship, which is kind of the big place where people like to take photos and stuff. So see, everybody likes to get up here and do all the photos, especially the kids like to play on it. And then you can do the photo like the Titanic. Now they haven't done anything with this middle part yet, but I think they will. Just they haven't constructed anything yet, but I think it's going to happen. So this is the last part of the new portion of the boulevard here. But all of this wasn't here before. This was all just off limits. You couldn't even get to it, if I remember it right. So. All right, so last part, but again, I like seeing this. Dumaguete's set up a lot of trash receptacles, which is good to see because there wasn't really many before and people were throwing trash on the ground. So it's good to see they fixed that problem. And then you have the old portion of the boulevard, which is all that way, all the way down to the port. One last look at the whole thing here. All right, so anyway, I appreciate you watching my video. If you want to see the written article, a little more detailed and little more of a description and stuff, you can check out my website, geointhephilippines.com, and read my new blog. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. Bye.
Come on, groove along. I said, baby, I know you're on a roll. Sweet honey, let's take it real slow.